Most videos have a background audio track playing, even if it's barely audible. And music can also be a storytelling device that you can use. For instance, this video starts out with a happier music track, but then transitions into a darker sound when we learn that the boxer has become a robot. Let's go back to the beginning of our project timeline. From the audio folder in the bin, take the file labeled Music 1 and drag it into audio track 3, right under our narration track. If we play it back, we may notice that the track is too loud and is interfering with our narration track. I spent my entire life training to become a world-class boxer. Select our Music 1 audio clip and navigate to the Effects Control panel. You will see an option for volume and then level, which represents the audio clip's volume in decibels. To lower the volume, type in a negative number. Start in increments of 5 and play back your project often to decide what is the correct volume to your ear. In this case, -5 decibels or dB is a good volume for this clip. You may notice that the level property can also be keyframed, as is indicated by the stopwatch on the left. This can be useful if you want the volume higher during a title sequence at the beginning or end of your video, but lower during the times when a narrator is speaking, or another more important piece of audio should be heard. Now let's use our scrubber to navigate to the part of our story where the mood changes as we reveal that the character has become a robot, which is right before our Robot Wakes Up video clip. This is where we want our upbeat music to end and transition into our darker background music. Start by taking the razor tool and splitting the Music 1 audio clip by clicking on your mouse while hovering over where your clip and the scrubber intersect. Using the selection tool, click off the clips and then select the second half of the audio clip we just split. Delete it using the delete key on your keyboard. Now let's take our Music 2 audio clip and add it to the same track as Music 1 so that they are touching. Repeat the process of finding the correct volume for this clip as we did before. Note that each different audio source is different, so you'll have to uniquely adjust the volume for every audio clip you bring into your project. In this case, I found that there was no need to adjust the volume, so I kept it at 0 dB or 0 decibels. Let's again trim this audio clip using the razor tool so that it ends a few seconds before our Transformers boxing video clip. If we play back just this section where the two audio clips meet, we will hear that the change is very abrupt. Worth it at the time, so that I could become the... Just like we have video transitions, we also have audio transitions that we can use. Make sure you are in the Effects workspace and expand the Audio Transitions folder, then Crossfade. There are several choices in this folder, but the most consistent transition is the one called Exponential Fade. Click and drag it onto the space where your Music 1 and 2 audio clips meet. You will see a ramp appear similar to when we applied a cross-dissolve transition to our video clips. If we play this section back now, the transition is much smoother. So that I could become the bad... Let's also add an exponential fade transition to the end of our Music 2 audio clip so that it fades into silence before our robot pew noises clip. Congrats! You just finished the editing portion of this tutorial. Now let's move on to exporting our project into a video file that we can share with others via social media, YouTube, and other platforms. In order to share your project, you have to export it into a file format that others can view, such as an MP4 file. To do this, make sure that your project timeline area is selected. Then go to File, Export, and Media. A new dialog box will open. The first thing that we want to do is make sure that we are exporting our entire sequence. Go to the drop-down menu on the left and select Entire Sequence. To make sure your entire project is there, use the scrubber to preview what will be exported, and make sure the beginning and the end look correct. Now let's take a look at the right side of the dialog box. There are a lot of options here, which are great for when you become an advanced user and have different video needs. But for now, we are going to use a basic setting that should work for about 90% of your videos. From the drop-down menu labeled Format, select H.264. H.264 is a very popular video codec that compresses your video but retains a high visual quality, making it useful for sharing on social media, streaming, and other platforms. Next, from the drop-down menu labeled Preset, scroll down and select YouTube 1080p Full HD. As you may recall, we set our sequence to be set to 1080p 30, which matches this YouTube preset. In general, you want your export settings to match your sequence settings as it does here. Next, click on the blue text link next to the output name, which opens a Save dialog box. Navigate to the export folder inside our larger project folder in your downloads. Name the export with your project name. If you plan on making several versions, you may want to append the end of your file name with a 01, 02, or 03 respectively. Click Save. Next, make sure that both export video and audio are selected. And lastly, click Export on the bottom of the dialog box. Depending on how long your project is, the exporting process can take anywhere from several minutes to a couple of hours. Once it is completed, you'll find the exported video, which you can now share with others, in your Exports folder. Thank you for watching the Multimedia Labs at Brown's Basic Video Editing Workshop. We hope this tutorial has helped you on your way to becoming a video and media maker.